Holy shit.
Freaking awesome!
So we just got back from the premiere of Star Wars Rogue One, and we must say it was amazing and definitely, in my opinion, better than Force Awakens.
Absolutely.
I'm here with my mom, who is the problem of all this, as she introduced me to Star Wars 20-something years ago, and I've never gotten off my Star Wars kick since. So we're gonna do two videos. This one is gonna be non-spoiler. We're not gonna ruin any part of the movie. And then what we're gonna do is do a second video, spoiling the movie and going over our thoughts about it. So we're gonna get started. So firstly, what did you think of the movie?
I thought the effects were, as usual, amazing.
Yes. Yeah, they did a lot of cool stuff. I won't spoil it, but they brought back a lot of characters from the original movies with the use of CGI on their faces. And they've done it before, like with Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor, because he was too old to do the combat or whatever, but it was a kind of a faraway thing. In this, it was close up, and they were talking to each other, and it was like these actors were really alive in there, and it was awesome.
It was.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, everything was just, it was just awesome. That's the only thing that I could think of that keeps coming to my head. It's just awesome. Everything, the effects, the acting. I like the soundtracks. I don't know if you will, but
no, okay.
I thought the soundtracks were better.
Better than what, Force Awakens?
I think so, except for the Kylo Ren one.
Okay, so we were talking about the soundtrack because in this movie, John Williams did not perform any scores for the movie as far as I understand it. And I was pointing out to my mother that I didn't think that any theme in this movie was memorable. There were a few themes that had cues from the original, which I picked up on, which I really liked. But as far as anything memorable, nothing stuck out to me. Like in Force Awakens, Kylo Ren's theme stuck out to me. Every time Kylo Ren came up, you heard his theme, and the Resistance theme stuck out to me. In this movie, I can't tell you anything that stuck out to me, so the soundtrack is a down for me. I did not like it. Overall, as far as the story goes, I think it they went into such effort to tie in so many things from the original trilogy that this movie just completes everything, and it tied it together in this neat little gift just in time for Christmas. And they couldn't have done a better job tying in so many things that people complained about or weren't sure about or whatever. I definitely think it was A+ on the story part. I loved it.
You'll have no questions after this.
Yeah, no, there's no question after this as to how they got the plans. I can't say anymore because I'll spoil some things. So it was just awesome. You have to see it. So as far as the new characters, what did you think? Who was your favorite character? We can talk about that. We're not spoiling anything. Who's your favorite character out of this Rogue One squad of fighters that we have in this movie?
I think it was that. I love that Jedi. And
he's not a Jedi. We don't know if he's a Jedi though.
But I mean. To me, he's a Jedi. So
Mom's talking about, and I'll put his name on the screen. I can't think of his name, but the character that Donnie Yen played, he was a badass. I mean, in the trailer he was a badass, but in the movie, and they never specifically said he was a Jedi. There's a part in the movie where he states that there are no more Jedi, but he does believe in the Force, and what his role is he's a guardian of kyber crystals on the planet. That's not really a spoiler because by the point of the movie that he's already been, you'll have to watch. Anyway, but he was a badass. He took down all these stormtroopers, and he's just weaving in and out of the battlefield, and he was really cool. He was pretty important to the plot as well.
Yeah.
Since he's the only real Force sensitive in the group, he kind of foretells some things that happen, and kind of gives some advice to Jyn and her group. And the other person you mentioned was K2SO, the droid, the Imperial droid. He was the funniest part of the movie, and it wasn't stupid funny like Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
It was kind of like C-3PO funny, and he was also a badass as well. When he started fighting, he was pretty awesome. So he was definitely a highlight of the movie. What did you think of Jyn, the main character that we had, Jyn Erso?
Oh, she was good.
I liked her.
She was awesome.
And she's actually pretty badass in her own right also.
Yeah.
So the story was just really good. I really like that story. We want to see it again. That's how good it was.
Absolutely. I definitely will go see that again.
And it's great because you have all these cues from the original movies. You have the old TIE fighters, the X-Wing stormtroopers, but they mix in the Scarif troopers, and now everything kind of makes sense. I'm not going to spoil it, but the Scarif stormtroopers, they're called that because the planet that they operate on is called Scarif. So that now everyone was wondering what that meant. I don't know if it's been revealed, but that's what it is. Scarif is the planet, that beach planet that they showed in the trailers, and that's why they're called Scarif troopers. And I had asked in other videos, I had brought it up. Why is it that in this movie there are so many new stormtroopers and the Death Troopers? Why are they in this movie if they're not in the other movies? Well, basically, the Death Troopers protect Krennic, and they're his squad, and they are only with him all the time. And the Scarif Troopers are only to that planet, Scarif. So it makes sense now. I thought there would be like a plot hole. It's like, where did the Empire get all these new stormtroopers from? They're specific to the planet and to Krennic, the director of the Death Star project. Segueing into that, what did you think of Krennic, the director, the one in white that was always the director of the Death Star plan? That's what he was.
Yeah. I don't know. With him, I wasn't really so impressed.
Really?
Yeah.
He was like a cockroach. Every time they were about to get him, he would escape. Or I'll tell you that much: every time you think he's dead, he's not dead. So he gets shot so many times in the movie. Yeah. And then he has a little thing with Darth Vader. So Darth Vader is in the movie, and for anyone wondering, I'll ask you, did they handle Darth Vader well in this movie? Because everyone was concerned about that they would not handle his character well.
No, they handled his character well. The only thing I did tell the difference with the voice.
But the voice was the same actor.
But it I don't know. It was just something.
Because in the credits, James Earl Jones was credited as being the voice.
And I know he's the one that done the original, but for
he's
some
older,
reason,
so
maybe that's why it didn't have that. I don't know that.
Oomph.
Yeah. Like
I noticed that too.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I can tell it was. I wasn't sure if it was him or not, and then at the end credits, I was like, oh, it was James Earl Jones.
I know it sounded like him.
Yeah.
But it didn't have that power.
Yeah.
That he had like in the first one with the.
But besides that, how did they handle his?
Oh, but
holy.
After that, but that was the only thing. Anything else?
Oh yeah. Oh man.
He's a badass. I mean, he might be a bad guy, but he's still a badass. He is.
I mean, there's a scene in this movie with Darth Vader and it's been leaked a long time ago, so this is not a spoiler for anyone. Darth Vader versus like a squad of rebel troops, and they were concerned if they were going to cut it out of the movie. They didn't cut it out of the movie, and these troops were their pants when they saw Darth Vader. And what happens is it's the coolest thing Darth Vader's ever done, in my opinion, in any Star Wars movie. So you need to see the movie just for that. It's awesome. What else? I mean, they tied so many things in this movie together. Everything that like came up was like, oh wow, like okay, that makes sense. Oh wow, it was like they really thought about it and went in a direction that was, for people that were wondering if this was going to be like Force Awakens and it was going to be kind of like any kind of copy of another movie. It's not.
No.
Don't even think that. It's completely its own thing. But it even though it's more like a war movie, it works really well in the Star Wars universe, and it worked awesomely. I think it was great. Definitely. I don't know where this is going to rank for some people. For me, it ranks up really high. I might put this as my second favorite Star Wars movie after Empire Strikes Back now. Yeah. Empire is my favorite movie, my favorite Star Wars movie, and I think this might come in second. It fits in perfectly. It fits in perfectly. The end of this movie fits in so well with A New Hope. They couldn't have done it better. It's that good. What was, without spoiling, trying to think, what was like your favorite thing about the movie? I guess without spoiling, you said your favorite characters was Donnie Yen's character, the Force-sensitive blind protector, and K2SO. I definitely liked K2SO, and I really liked Captain Andor way more than I thought I would. Cassian Andor, I liked him way more than I originally thought I would like him. I didn't think I'd like him at all, but I really liked his character. So he was an up for me. I thought he was going to be a down. But what was your favorite part of the movie without spoiling anything? Can you think? I know we just finished watching it, so.
Yeah, but I might slip.
Okay, so we'll say that for the spoiler review. Which actually, at this point, unless you can think of something, we can talk about the movie without spoiling it for people. I think we're going to move on to spoilers in a minute.
Yeah, after watching this, watch New Hope.
Yeah.
And it'll everything will just
That
come
can be
together.
like, without spoiling it, that can be one long movie. If you watch Rogue One and then watch New Hope together, that literally could be one long movie for you. And I'm not going to say any more than that. But, all right, ladies and gentlemen, so what we're going to do, we're actually about home. So when we get home, we're going to film the spoiler review, and we're going to unload all our thoughts, all the plot points, all the cool cameos, all the stuff they did in this movie. So if you want to be spoiled, or if you've seen it already and you want to get in on the discussion, go ahead and watch the spoiler review. If I might even disable comments for this video so people don't spoil it on this video. Definitely go out and watch it. It was a lot of fun, and we're going to end this video and we're going to go on to spoilers. So with that said, Xeon.